Thank you, Toda Rabba. So my name is Tom Carpel. I work at Remitly. We're a fintech company. We transform lives with trusted financial services that I have some friends from work here. Trusted financial services that transcend borders, as you heard a little bit in the intro. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about feedback. So feedback is a gift, a non-cynical and practical guide for giving and receiving feedback. I'm already going to start by winning the longest title award. So that's a good start already. I promise this is the last cynical slide. And this is a really important topic. We want to take it seriously. We want to be thoughtful about it. This is how we learn and grow. So we're going to talk about 7 different principles of feedback that I've encountered and built up over some years of experience working in the field. I'm sure you have as well. I think hopefully most of these will not be surprising to you. They'll feel like common sense. It's worthwhile for us to talk about it, be clear about it, and be thoughtful about it so that we don't miss on any of these and we're able to have anywhere from those difficult feedback conversations to really happy ones and be able to do it effectively in every case. So our 7 principles: give direct feedback, make sure it's hot, quick feedback, recent, receive before you give, focus on patterns, avoid one-offs, be specific, prepare examples, keep it actionable, make sure there's something we can do about the feedback we're talking about, and finally, focus on one thing at a time. Okay? So that's it. I'm done. We're going to get into it. We're going to talk about them one by one. So, direct feedback. Give direct feedback. We want to avoid triangulation. What's triangulation? We have A, B, and C on our little triangle here. I gave them names, so it's easier to work with. A is Adam, B is Bob, C is Kate. Adam and Bob work together. Kate is Bob's manager. And there was some sort of incident, and A and B had an altercation. And now Adam goes to talk to Kate about it. And Kate has to go speak with Bob about it because she's Bob's manager. This is not a good situation, right? We've created that triangle. There's a disconnect here between the people who experience the issue and the person who's talking to everybody about it, trying to resolve it and improve things going forward. So what happens is Adam never gets to hear Bob's perspective. Bob never gets to feel the impact that the situation had on Adam. It's not always a fight. It's not always people purposefully getting in each other's way. In fact, it almost never is, right? But it's important to understand the other side, to speak to each other, to look each other in the eyes. That understanding leads to us being able to work on the issue and resolve it. So we want to avoid triangulation. We want to make sure that feedback is given directly, and that way we don't lose the empathy and understanding when 2 people talk to each other. Okay. So we also want to keep it fresh. We want our feedback to be recent and up to date. This is how we're going to be very clear on the details. We're going to remember exactly what went down. We were both just there. We want to make sure that we're being as near immediate as possible with our feedback. When it's recent, it's most relevant, right? Something that happened 2 months ago, a year ago, is not that relevant to talk about. Not only are we not going to be fresh on the details, a lot has changed since. In terms of the details, we also want to avoid any risk of inaccurate recollection, right? This is bidirectionally. I don't want my delivery of the feedback to be impacted by not remembering exactly what happened and how it went down. I don't want their reception of my feedback to be impacted by that time passing and inaccurate recollection. There is an important exception to this. We want to keep our feedback hot and fresh as much as possible, except when feelings are involved, right? In high emotion situations, for those of us who are engineers, if there was a major bug in production, emotions are high, everybody's stressed out, everybody's trying to deal with the issue. it's not really the time to talk about how did we get here, why did we make this mistake, right? People are not receptive at that time to feedback and improving. We need to resolve the situation, we need to calm everything down, and then we can talk about it more. So if you're stressed out, angry, scared, exhausted, or if these emojis don't mean those feelings to you, add any other feelings, emotions, emojis that you like. That's not a good time either to approach somebody or to be approached. So hold off until everything is resolved and make sure that the conversation is not loaded, right, from either side. That's our key to success. Otherwise, we want to keep things recent and near immediate. Next, we want to make sure that we're not just giving feedback, we're even asking for feedback first. This is a way to open up. It's a relationship. There's two people talking to each other. There's a level of trust that has to be built. And when you open yourself up first, the other party is much more likely to be receptive when it's their turn to receive feedback, your turn to give it. So obviously success is about trust. Trust is about being able to be vulnerable. And we can do that by humbling ourselves first, genuinely asking for help and support. If I come to you and I say that I need your help, we've built something here. When I really listen to you, I truly listen to what you have to say and how you can help me be better. You now trust me more. You feel like I've listened to you, and it's likely that you'll want to listen to me as well. Okay? Pretty obvious stuff, I hope. We'll get to the non-cynical element now. We want to be thankful. We want to be genuine, right? When we receive feedback, it's the title of the presentation. It's a bit silly, but it's true. Feedback is a gift, right? This is how we get better. If everybody just tells me that I'm doing a good job, but they never talk about what I'm doing that's really good, what could be better, then I'll always do a good job. I'll never do a great job. I want to be better, I want to grow, I want to improve, and if I'm genuine about that, and when I talk to everybody that I want to receive feedback from and be able to give feedback to, and I do it in a truly open way, that's going to be reciprocated. So we do need to be non-cynical and real with each other, and it really opens up doors. What does feedback look like? It can be anything. Those of you who run sprints, it can be very much like a sprint retrospective, right? Do more, do less, and try. It could be things like that way that you summarize emails after meetings is really helpful. You put these bullets with the action items, and that's really great. Please do that more. Now I'm aware of it. I can do it purposefully, not as a side effect, not something that I was doing without noticing, and maybe sometimes I would do it, sometimes I wouldn't. When somebody tells me do that more, I will purposefully make sure that I do it consistently. Do something less, pretty obvious, right? Things that are, maybe they're bothering people, maybe they're not giving people space to do their work and to be creative and to go beyond some definition of tasks. We want to do that less. We want to give them their space. Things to try, something that we're not doing and we could be doing and should be doing. There's great ideas everywhere, and each one of us as an individual is not going to think of everything. So we want to be open and listen to each other and get those ideas of things to try. Okay. So we're almost at the halfway point, so I'll move to the other side of the stage. We want to be focusing on patterns, right? We only want to focus on things that repeat. Only repeated patterns matter. Things that happen one time are not interesting. A one-off is not likely to repeat. I don't have any evidence. I don't have any data to say that this is going to be a continued thing. We're all leaders. You all have a business that you're responsible for, and it's not an effective use of our time and effort to try and fix things that we don't even know if they'll ever break again, so to speak. Okay? And on the other hand, a pattern requires change. This is something that if something has happened 3, 4, 5 times, guess what? It's going to happen again. If we don't talk to each other and drive for change and improvement, it'll just keep happening. So we want to focus on patterns. We want to ignore one-offs. We want to keep an eye out on things and pay attention. A one-off could become a pattern. And also, on a quick note, nobody wants to, if a one-off is situational, nobody wants to get feedback about something that had to do with a sequence of events that is absurd and will never happen again. Right? My children were sick, and there was the stoplight wasn't working, and I couldn't get to the meeting on time, and that's why I was late to the meeting. That is not something that's meaningful to talk about. All right. Be specific, prepare examples. There's a few reasons to do this. Obviously, alignment is key. We talked about building trust. We have to understand each other. We're trying to keep things recent so that we have a good recollection. I want to be clear, what are we talking about? What is this feedback trying to help me improve, fix, do more of, be purposeful about? So we need to make sure that we align, and examples help us do that. Make sure we're not talking about different things, and I misunderstood you, and I tried to change something unrelated to what you were mentioning, and then I didn't actually improve in the area you were suggesting. So misunderstanding just means that we're not going to fix or improve what you're talking about. The other side of it is examples actually show care and preparation, right? You didn't just note something that you didn't like and then you told me that you want me to fix it. You actually were mindful, kept note. You can walk me through it and explain it to me and talk about specifically what it was that was suboptimal or could be improved, or was great and I should do more of. So it's great for clarity and alignment and for showing care and continuing that trust building. So we've done all these things. What are we going to do now? We need to make the feedback actionable, right? Not actionable is not useful. I may need to be better. You might tell me that I should be a better presenter, but what do I do with that? Is that really helpful to just tell me I need to be better at something? I need to understand, do I need to be a better presenter by using more imagery in my slides? By doing more audience engagement? Who thinks I should do more audience engagement? You can raise your hands. Okay, so be specific, be actionable. You can provide suggestions, you can brainstorm together. You don't have to bring the person a solution, but you need to make sure that they leave the conversation with things to try, things to do, not just a vague idea of something that can be improved or continued. Okay, we're almost done. So the last point, you need to focus about one thing at a time. It's not useful to try and focus on 10 things. It's actually almost the opposite of the definition, to focus on 10 things. Here's the definition. Okay? You can't be the center of something if you're 10 different things. So we want to make sure that we give one area of focus at a time. It doesn't have to be one, it could be one or two. But if you tell me 5, 6 different things that I need to change and improve on, I'm not likely to be able to do that over a short period of time. If you do have multiple points, keep a list. It's okay, you're not acting against me here. Again, you're helping me. Feedback is a gift. Just make sure that you give me one item at a time. Next time we talk, next time we have a one-on-one, you'll give me another piece of feedback. And you can have a backlog, it's perfectly okay. Just make sure that you try and follow the other principles and keep it timely and fresh and all of the things that we talked about, of course. The idea of doing one thing at a time, it's very much like work tasks. I assume everybody here works this way. I much prefer that my teams finish one thing rather than start 3 things, right? There's no customer impact to 3 started tasks, but there's great customer impact to a task that was completed and delivered. Feedback works the same way. So these are our 7 principles. Keep it direct, make it fresh, and make sure that it's quick and recent. Receive feedback before you give it. Focus on patterns, not one-offs. Make it specific and clear, actionable so I could do something about it, and focus on one thing at a time. Okay, some quick tips for a conversation about feedback. Make sure the other person is ready to receive it. We talked about emotions and feelings. Start by asking, can I give you some feedback? And then when you have those conversations, try to stay on your side of the net, so to speak, in a tennis situation. Don't make any assumptions about why they did something and how they're feeling. Stay on your side. Say what you've experienced, what you saw, the impact that you have had based on the thing that went down, and then talk about actionable, all the things we talked about. And that's it. Thank you very much. Appreciate your time.